Checking connection. You are live. You are live in two places. All right, let me go get to this. No, I should probably give folks a chance to get in, but um I'm late, so you had a chance to be late too. So I'm just gonna go and get started. Islam. All right. Grabbing my notes. All right. It's Allah. Yay, made it. Islam. It is day 28 of the 77 days of elevation. Islam. And here we are again. Made it. Islam. For those who are new, first let me give all praises to Allah, honor to the forerunner Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and to the prophet in these days, the noble, honorable Prophet Drew Ali. All right. I am Sister Zahra Bey. All right. You can find all of my info at linktree/Califa Media. Please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, let folks know that we are here, we are here, we are here, right? For those who do not know what this is, the Moors are trying to get stuff, reestablished. This is our Moorish Renaissance in the Americas, So when, at least in my from my view, from what I'm doing, when Moors start doing stuff, I kind of like grab a hold of it and keep that mug going as much as I can. Because admittedly, I am a Gemini, so I get easily distracted. But this one has managed to maintain my attention. It is the 77 days of elevation where the Moors are encouraged to take 77 days. It started on 7/7/2022. Take 77 days and cultivate yourself in at least one area. You can pick. I picked 3 to make sure that I can at least get to one. All right. Again, let me not forget to thank you all who are here. I really appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Announcements. Okay. First of all, I need just a moment. Islam, to those who are here. I don't know if I can pause. Pause. I'll be just a second. Islam. I don't like doing this, but sometimes you gotta do stuff. It's kind of bogus. All right, hold on. All right, Islam. All right. Yeah. So when you see this background, that means I'm trapped in my room because the children are home all day. So yeah, I had to go handle that real quick. Thank you for your indulgence. I really appreciate that. And those who have children, your understanding. All right. So I'm not going to keep you long because as usual, I got a ton of stuff to do and I have my notes because why? I respect your time. All right. So announcements. It is day 32 of the 77 days of elevation. Gratitude to those who encourage and also let me know that you're participating. If you share anything, let the Moors know. Because you know, let's have a ripple effect, that kind of thing. And you know how everybody bites off us, so let's do something worth biting off of, right? I'm gonna move this down just a little. Okay, so yeah, and it gives Moors a chance to develop something that they've been putting off, right? Now you have the space to go into some hobby, or if I only had more time, I would do this for free. That's what you need to be doing. All right. Hashtag 77 days, hashtag elevation, right? All right. Next announcement, 7 connections Moorish matchmaking. All right. Because the first level of nationhood is the household, the house. All right. That's the number 7, not the word spelled out, connections on Instagram. All right. You can contact them and get a link to fill out a profile. And that's for Moors who are looking for Moors. All right. Next announcement, the Unity Peace Pipe Ceremony. All right. Today is the 7th, August 7th. So that will be starting in 10 days. So I'm guessing they're gonna be getting their travels going pretty soon, right? Thank you all to who have supported, right? The response was way more than I was expecting. And as Secretary of Mercy Charity, we were collecting money to help, offset some of the expenses. Um, Califa Media offered T-shirts, for the attendees, of course. But it's like, well, if you all want to help put in, you can, instead of just donating some amount, how about you make a donation and you get a gift back, kind of like the televangelists, but except 100% of this is going to them after expenses, right? And it was like unbelievable how many more bought T-shirts for an event they can't even go to because it's in Canada, and they still tripping, and they want you to get all juiced up before you can come across the border, right? So thank you all for that, because if you don't follow Mercy Charities on Instagram, uh, your generosity took the care package for the hosts of the Unity Peace Pipe ceremony. They're on the Eel River Bar First Nation Reservation up in New Brunswick. All right. And Califa Media has donated a care package, and your donations in collaboration with Mercy Charities, we were able to take our care package and make it into an extra care package. So Allah willing, they'll be very happy with their offering. All right. So thank you all again for that. And it's not too late to support, because again, they're not leaving for 10 days. So you can go on Mercy Charities, that's MRCI charities.org, or CanaanlandMoors.com, or CalifaMedia.com. All right. And look for all of those names: Mercy Charities, Canaan Land Moors, and Califa Media, all on any social platform. And you'll see a means to donate, because there's still time to donate. All right. Because you know how that stuff comes back to you 10 times. Why do you think more Mercy Charities exist? And why do you think philanthropy is a thing? Right? Because these mugs know what they're doing. I give away $1 million, I get back $1 billion. They know how this works. All right. So please donate to Mercy Charities to keep our coffers funded, because we actually are making moves. And you're welcome. It does not have to be fiat. You can donate talent, advice, anything. Just hit us up. We got mercycharities.org, whole sheet, pages, all that good stuff. If you would like your announcements included on this sharing, because I'll come back every transit of the moon except for Scorpio, please email me at califamedia@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm not on Facebook that much, but Instagram like almost daily. All right. Let's see. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the astrology. All right, now to the good stuff. All right. I think it's good stuff because it's a fun moon today. All right. For those who don't know what this is, part of my 77 days, well, one of my three, right? My three missions for the 77 days are to improve my sewing techniques, because I know how to sew a little bit, because I grew up around it, so I can't help but know it. But I'm adding to my repertoire, so to speak. And then another one is to work on learning the Spanish guitar, aka the classical guitar, the one not where you strum, but when you pluck. All right, it's a little more challenging. That's why I picked that version. And then my third one was to come on to Instagram/YouTube to speak on what's going on with the moon, because one is a lot of different reasons, but one of which is how tied in the moon is to Moorish culture, especially in America, right? That's our symbol, the moon. So, yeah. Let's see. And I like the moon cycles because, yes, you can go anywhere and everywhere. Everybody's talking about what's coming up all around as far as all the planets and what aspects they're making to all the other planets. I'm just focusing on the moon, all right? Because that's the one that has the most influence, and it changes the most. It transits the fastest, right? And it's like a flashlight going all around the zodiac. So I'm of the opinion, if you know how the moon works, you can pretty much figure out the rest of it, or at least it'll instead of trying to be like, okay, this a square, quintile, 60 quintile, and all that stuff. Like, just look at the moon, right? And next thing you know, you figure out the rest of it. The rest, it just falls into place. All right. So today, oh, the other thing, I don't do it. I don't come on here before the transit I'm speaking on. I come on during, like in the middle of it, so that I can at least report, like, hey, these are my observations now that we're in this energy. So going forward for the rest of your life, even if you don't have an ephemeris or a calendar, just by tuning in, and don't take that stuff for granted. How you could pick stuff up. People like, oh, that's silly. It's silly for them because they can't do it. All right. And unless you working with some special magic, you can't do it. All right. I don't care how much lotion you put on, you can't do it. Anyway, so second quarter moon in Sagittarius to the astrology. All right, that's what's going on today. It goes void of course tomorrow morning, Monday, August 8th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, right? And it's void as in it doesn't make any more conjunctions until it goes into Capricorn tomorrow, Monday, August 8th at 2:39 p.m. So you can go back and look at, I have descriptions of what the void of course is and what the definition is, or you could just look it up. But it's either a good time to wrap stuff up, begin stuff that you want to fail, but it's definitely not a good time to initiate something that you want to succeed. All right. This one is a good one. I've been enjoying it. I don't know about you, right? Because it's also, not only is the moon feeling better because she's moved out of Scorpio, all right? You can see a little tip, just a tip, right? You can see where the moon does well by, or on any planet, where it does well by where it does poorly, all right? So, for instance, when Venus is in Aries, I have Venus in Aries, right? This is just an example. So when Venus is in Aries, it's in its exile, right? Because Venus rules Libra, is as far away as it can get from that home. It also rules Taurus, right? But as far as Libra, it's as far away as it can get from that home, its domicile. That's what it's called, its domicile. It's as far away as it can get, so it's in exile. So that's not, it doesn't like being in Venus or Aries. Venus does not like being in Aries, right? And then it moves into Taurus. It doesn't necessarily do the greatest just because it's a fixed sign. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It moves into Taurus where its other domicile is, and it does great in Taurus. I'm thinking of the moon. I'm thinking of something else that doesn't do well in Taurus. Anyway, because nothing doesn't do well in Taurus. Because the moon is, I'm getting off track, but I'm gonna come back to it. The moon is exalted in Taurus, so nothing falls, nothing does poorly in Taurus. All right. My point was Venus does so badly in Aries. You can look at the next sign. You can even look at the previous sign because it does really well in Pisces too. So wherever it does bad, a planet does badly, you can look on either side to see where it does quite well. And vice versa. Wherever it does quite well, the sign before that or after it might be where it does kind of badly. All right. So Venus does well in Pisces, not so poorly. I'll just say poorly. It's in exile in Aries, and then it's back home in Taurus. All right. So I'm mentioning that because the moon, so it's actually exalted in the moon itself is exalted, not Venus. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So it's fall. So you got the domicile where it lives, the exile or the detriment where, which is opposite. Then you have where it performs its best, its exaltation. Then where it falls is directly across from that. So the moon is exalted in Taurus. So its fall is in Scorpio. So when it gets out of Scorpio, even though that's not the best sign because it's a fire sign and moon is ruled by water, it's still better than being in Scorpio. So Sagittarius it feels pretty good in Sagittarius, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that made some sense. If it didn't, ask me questions and I'll include them in a short or next time I'm on here. All right. So there's a fire trine going on right now. All right. And I think it's like, if it's not exact, it's getting close to exact right now at 3:30 p.m. Of course, because almost 3:33. 3:30 p.m. on August 2nd, 7th, 2002. So this trine is occurring, this fire trine is occurring right now, is between the sun in Leo, the moon in Sagittarius, and Jupiter, which is currently retrograde in Aries. I think somebody's tapping. Not now. Okay, so the moon is feeling better again, like I said, after being in Scorpio. The sun is in its domicile, the only sign that it rules in Leo. And Jupiter is in a fellow fire sign, right? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, a fire sign, all right? But it's retrograde, which Jupiter is like always been. It's the greater benefic. So it's like retrograde forward, depending on where it is. It's usually doing something positive, all right? So this retrograde in Aries is giving the opportunity to reflect, to affect your environment, because it's retrograde rather than the environment affecting you. So it's a perfect opportunity for change, right? Change something that you're passionate about because it's a trine in fire. Okay. Um, Especially in the realm of Jupiterian things, because Jupiter is involved in this trine, and the moon is in Jupiter's house in Sagittarius, involved in this trine. So I would focus in Jupiter ruled areas. Look for where Jupiter, or I would say no. Look for where, actually, yeah, where's Jupiter in your chart? Where's Aries in your chart? Because Jupiter is there right now. And where is what houses does Jupiter rule? And those will be your Pisces and your Sagittarius houses. All right. If you want to get more detailed, your 11th, look at your 11th, that's your 11th, your 9th and your 12th house as well. Again, that ties to Sagittarius, 9th house, Pisces, 12th house. All right. So the theme for this sharing is honoring sacred spaces. All right. So, second quarter moon in Sagittarius, beginning with the memorandum. What is the moon? Moon is mind, emotions, reflection, home, privacy, nurturing, needs, security, women and mothers, mother's milk, nationality, or your motherland. It rules the sign of Cancer and the fourth house, and it also rules rapid changes, especially emotional. It domiciles in Cancer, is in its detriment in Capricorn, is exalted in Taurus, and falls in Scorpio. All right. What is Sagittarius? 333. Sagittarius rules the thighs. All right. Philosophy, religion, higher thought, and learning. Gurus, foreigners, and foreign places. Jovial lightheartedness, expansion, idealism, exploration. This is all what Sagittarius rules. Especially exploration, especially of the outdoors. Horses, dogs, tin, the metal, tin, tin. The color purple, not the movie, the actual hue of purple. Thursday, the ninth house, and it rules the ninth house. Okay. It is ruled by, or domiciles, Sagittarius is ruled by and is the domicile of Jupiter. It is the exaltation of K2, aka the South Node. All right. What is the second quarter moon in Sagittarius? The second quarter moon. The second quarter begins when the moon has moved 90 degrees from the sun. At this point, the waxing moon rises at about noon and sets at about midnight. It is at this time that the moon can be seen in the western sky during the evening hours, growing in size from a crescent to her full beauty. This period corresponds to the development and growth of life and projects that are coming close to fruition. All right. The moon in Sagittarius in general, and this definition and the previous one are from the Llewellyn 2022 astrological calendar. All right. So the moon in Sagittarius in general. All right. Here the moon is at her most optimistic, Now's the time when we'll be more likely to shrug things off and let them go and laugh about them. All right. In fact, I'm going to take advantage of that right now. Laugh about this break I need to take real quick. This is Sagittarius. Can't sit still. Got to be moving. Stuff is always popping up. All right. And I'm back. All right. So note to self, might want to start planning these for the week. And yay, school is starting back. So I guess this is a temporary issue. Thank you for your indulgence. I appreciate that. All right. So again, with the moon in Sagittarius, thank you again. Everybody who's here, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm just a second. I'm reading a comment off of YouTube. I am not a Moor, but I am a Muslim. I decided to participate in the 77-day elevation with you guys. I plan on learning more about the Moors. Islam, that's what's up. Take the 77 days to learn more about the Moors. There you go. Making time, right? Because it's kind of like, let's tie in the 7 again. This a little tangent. Can't help it because we're expanding our philosophies and knowledge because Sagittarius rules philosophy, right? Higher knowledge, right? So, the 7 and the Jubilees, right? How Jubilees happen on 7. We get one every week on the Sabbath. The 7th day, you get a Jubilee. That's your day to rest, right? So you're taking 77 days and you're making time and space for something you usually, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's too easy to find excuses, but it lingers. You can't not forget about this issue, topic, whatever. So yeah, it kind of ties into the Jubilees as well. So yeah, Islam, thank you. Welcome. Please do let us know how it goes for you. I know I'm interested. I want to know. You can email me at califamedia@gmail.com. And yes, I will respond. All right. So the moon in Sagittarius. Here the moon is at her most optimistic. Now's the time we will be more likely to shrug things off, let them go, and laugh about them. Of course, Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, is also the planet of long distance travel and higher education. All right. Making this a great time to take time off for a 2-day adventure or attend a seminar on a topic you've always been interested in, say philosophy or religion. This is a sign with the gift of prophecy and a love for collecting knowledge, experience, and wisdom. When the moon is in Sagittarius, spend time outdoors, be spontaneous, and laugh much, much too loudly, right? Just watch out for a tendency towards excess, waste, and overdoing, all right? So, the moon in Sagittarius agriculturally. It is barren, fiery, dry, and masculine. Use this sign for planting onions, seeding hay, etc. I don't know what the etc. I guess you're supposed to know what the etc. is. It says use it for planting onions and seeding hay, etc. I have to look that up. Like you're supposed to know what that is. Also good for cultivation. All right, which makes sense. It's higher knowledge philosophy, so it makes sense that it'd be good for cultivation. This thing is so bright. Okay, so the theme for this sharing: honoring sacred spaces. And again, it's still tying into associations. All right. Because this is the third installment of the importance of making or establishing associations, maintaining associations, and caution in who you associate with. All right. So, usual disclaimer. All right. I love my people. All right. Love is not a strong enough word. Okay. Some may be burned by the following commentary which is based on observation before, during, and after careful study of history. All right, there we go. Living in honor. All right. So, honor, the definition of honor. Actually, I'm not going to go to that. I have a link, but Skip being a Google scholar, I have a book. an actual book. Do you see how old it looks? It looks old because it is old. This book is from this dictionary. What is it called? I can barely read it. It says the New Dictionary of the English Language, 1926 edition. This dictionary has a definition of Holocaust in it that does not match the one that we use because it happened before World War II. This is why I love old books. This is why some people burn old books. Maybe if we have time, I'll share with you all the definition of Holocaust out of this book from 1926, before some people tried to use it to establish some falsehoods in 1945. Anyway, let's look at the definition of honor. Honor. All right. Noun. Respectful, regard, esteem, worship, reputation, exalted, rank, fame, magnanimity, scorn of meanness, self-respect, chastity, an outward mark of high esteem, an outward mark of high esteem, glory, a title used in addressing certain officials, one of 4 highest trump cards in whist. So if you play whist, in plural, in a university examination. So in a university examination, you get an honor, right? The highest class. To treat with respect, deference, or civility, revere or worship, bestow marks of honor upon, with dignity, with acknowledge, accept and pay with due. All right. So accept with due, pay with due. Honor, right? So that's the definition of honor. I bring that up because Moon is in Sagittarius, and it'll relate back to why I'm focusing on honor today. Okay. So chapter 48 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the end time and the fulfilling of the prophecies, verse 9, the covenant of the great God Allah. Honor thy mother and thy father. Honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be longer upon the earth land, which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. All right. I bring that up because to honor thy mothers and thy fathers, a way that some people put that would be to say you honor your elders. All right. Not the elderly, which that word is used to like justify people's excuses of why they dishonor people who could have changed their diapers. And just for that reason, you should show them a little deference. You don't necessarily have to respect everyone because some people are not deserving of respect. I don't care how old, how aged they are. All right. But until you find that out, you have to defer to them just because they've been around longer than you. Right. Especially if they're double your age, or like some people have been saying, you're more than 20 years my age. All right. You should then bow down, because I don't know what's going on with people disrespecting teachers. All right. And by teachers, I don't mean someone who talks. All right. Anyone and everyone can have an opinion, but you can usually recognize teachers because they got books. All right. They are in even if they don't have, I mean, I'm not going to even say even if they're in certain spaces, they might not have books. I would say that, except for the Prophet Muhammad. He was illiterate. He had a book. I'm not going into like, oh, I know, I understand the Quran is codified African spirituality, according to some people's schools of thought, because Moon and Sagittarius, we're going to be open-minded, broad-minded, right? Expansive-minded. So they say it's codified African spirituality, and that Bilal was the one who wrote it down because he was cooperating with the Prophet Muhammad to translate it into Arabic. So this was one of their own bringing them a message to get them to stop acting like animals. All right. So, and I'm gonna get into that too, right? The disrespecting teachers part, right? Anyone, I'll even say like a first grader can learn something from a second grader. All right. That's only a year apart. But you presume that you can fix your mouth to come telling somebody that you admit is more than 20 years your senior anything. I wouldn't want to be in my 20s for nothing in the world. I'm 45, all right? And it's true. Your life really does begin at 40 because of all the dumb mistakes you make when you're finally out of your parents' protection around 18. So if you're under 30, I don't know what you think you're telling anybody at all. Even people in their 30s, they get quiet. If you notice somebody around between their 30 and their 33rd birthday, they get kind of quiet because they start noticing and realizing some stuff. And they definitely don't start talking back to people who are older than them because they know, like, dang, you're 15 years older than me. And I know what I've been through in my 30 years. Right. But, some people, life gonna teach you. Right. And I'm taking special offense at this because, as far as to not have you just have an opinion, mystical journeys don't count. All right. Unless you wrote them down. For instance, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was illiterate. He had a book. He took a mystical journey. It's called the Night Journey. It's one of my favorite chapters in the Quran, even though it's really short, right? Because it actually does take you into your mind, and you can like, if you really have an open mind, you're on that journey with the Prophet Muhammad. Yes, that was a mystical journey. No, he did not have any physical witnesses. He wrote it down. So, you qualify as a teacher. That's not even asking that much, right? Again, a first grader can learn something from a second grader. Does that second grader have an essay? Can that first grader learn from that essay? Probably. All right. Otherwise, it's just an opinion, especially if and people might know who this refers to. If it sounds like it fits somebody, you're correct. Your opinion. I say it's opinion. It might be fact, but in my vast experience, true scholars, they don't just talk, they share where they got it from because they respect their teachers. Even if their teacher was a book, a script, anything, an idiom. But when you acting like you're the sole source of your stuff, well, you ain't no teacher. You're definitely not a teacher because teachers harken back because that gives them credibility. It shows that you're studious. All right. Not even that you're giving credit to anybody. I admit that I learned from him, her. I took all of that and came to my own conclusion because every generation has its own perspective. All right. So I don't want to get too far off for this. Honoring sacred spaces again. All right. This is not an attack. This is definitely not an attack. And this definitely does not apply to everyone. But if it applies to you, I'm talking to you. All right. Sorry I can't see the chat on Instagram, but thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. All right. So, New Moors versus New West Moors. I'm about to settle. I don't know if I'm going to settle this. I'm just going to offer some food for thought because I like suspending judgment because it leaves room for more consideration, more thinking, right? So New Moors versus New West Moors. All right. And I'm going to be referring to the words of the prophet, not my opinion. All right. I'm referring to the words of my teacher. All right. So Hadith and prophecies of Noble Drew Ali. Number 15. Brother J. Bakley Bey said that the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, in the year 2000, the Moors will come into their own, right? What does that mean? To come into one's own. It's an idiom. If you don't know what an idiom is, look it up, all right? Idiom, to come into one's own, to be very useful or successful in a particular situation. For instance, Eileen really comes into her own in a crisis, and that is from dictionary.com or dictionary.cambridge.org. I figure it's their language, the English language. Let me refer to the English-speaking people over there. All right. Or they claim it, so whatever. It's a garbage language, so I'm going to give them credit for it. All right. So, further, to come into one's own, right? Of a person, to reach a new level of maturity, independence, or success, often said of young adults. Continuing on, to be independent, to be recognized as independent and capable, usually after much effort or time. For instance, Maria is coming into her own as a concert pianist, right? And that is from idioms.thefreedictionary.com. All right. So now that we defined or giving you a couple of references, because I'm not of an opinion. I like to, because my opinion could be anything and it could change tomorrow, right? So let me refer to those who have come before, what has managed to persist, and it's probably got a grain of truth to it, more than your opinion. All right. So to come into one's own, it usually refers to an adult. When I first heard that, I thought of into one's own means you could take care of yourself. So if you're in your 30s, or heaven forbid, in your 20s, and Noble Drew Ali said in year 2000, the Moors will come into their own. These new Moors will come into their own. All right. How you going to be in your own in pre-K? You came into your own in pre-K. Between the age, I will even give it credit to high schoolers. All right. Which puts you in the range of what? Maybe in your mid to late 30s and upward. Right. But if you were in middle school in the year 2000 or younger than that, you are not the new Moor he was referring to. You are the newest Moor. And it's proven by the fact that you have too much hubris. All right. You're talking too much with too little to talk about. All right. And those who, you can tell, what is that? Empty wagons make the most noise. The most knowledgeable Moors, the most knowledgeable ones, you can't even find them. All right. I haven't been in front. This is why I don't get in front of a camera, because I got too much to study. And I know I'm very cognizant of that. There are older Moors who are way wiser than me, who could check me publicly. And I don't like public humiliation. So let me make sure that I studied correctly before I fix my mouth to talk to them. You know what? Never mind. Just never mind. Because as someone who came into this in 2008, me trying to tell Taj about anything he's doing, whether I agree with it or not, I wasn't there. I couldn't begin to understand his motivations, because I'm like, I know what my motivations are, and sometimes they do not match what is appearing before me, what's manifesting in other people's eyes, right? So let me not bow down. Let me back up and respect my elder, right? Because Taj is in his 60s, 70s. I'm in my 40s. All right. If you're in your 20s, how would you feel about somebody who hasn't even reached double digits trying to tell you anything except to say something's coming? You can actually turn your head and see that. But I'm gonna teach you. Wouldn't you be offended? All right. How about this? And this leads to the honoring sacred spacious things, right? And please check yourself where applicable. If any of this applies, yes, I'm talking to you. All right. Honor your gurus. All right. For instance, if you're in your 20s, you have a child. Your child happens to be, precocious. Precocious means they're more mature or knowledgeable than their age would suggest. All right. And they catch your mother speaking grammatically incorrectly, right? And they correct your mother. Your child has now corrected your mother. What you about to do? Any child. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say especially a child that don't even know your mom has corrected your mother. What are you about to do? This child is 20 years younger than you, 40 years younger than your mother. What are you about to do? Are you about to just sit there and see what happens? Are you going to wait to see what your mother says? Or are you going to take the position of the heir to whatever your mother has preserved for you? I mean, she already gave you life or whatever, because it can apply to teachers, right? Are you just going to sit there and let that happen? And this is why Bob Marley said, we're the only people that kill our own prophets. It's not that I don't think that it's that we kill our own prophets. We let it happen. Prophets usually have a ton of followers. How did they get killed? Somebody didn't say something or step before him. Everybody else does it. It just seems to be prevalent among our people. Actually, I notice it among our people because I could care less about other people unless they're bothering my people. It's like, anyway, I'll get to y'all. All right. So I say honor your gurus, right? Whatever form that takes. It could be a book, a philosophy, whatever, a person, a human, or whatever, right? A prophet. Honor your gurus because Jesus wasn't honored by his apostles, right? Because I'm sure, even though I'm pretty sure they outnumbered the Roman soldiers that came to get him. Even though he told them to stand down, it's like, well, maybe he just told them to stand down because he knew they weren't going to defend him anyway. All right. He even told, who was it? Was it John? You'll deny me 3 times. He knew. You're supposed to be my closest follower. You're going to deny, or Peter, I'm sorry. You're going to deny me 3 times. And you're supposed to be my closest follower. Shameful. All right. We could learn from this because it's shame. Look at how he's remembered in history. Shameful. Shame on you. Right? Muhammad was almost killed by his own tribe. I know foresight is a mug, right? But you about to be tied. You have an opportunity to be positively tied to someone who is going to establish an empire within his lifetime through love. All right. If you do the history yourself. Maybe we can have a little panel or something to discuss it. But it wasn't the Roman version where we just going to kill everybody and rape all the women. Now it's ours. No, we're going to teach y'all. We're going to give you the option of either joining us or be taxed. And then you like how we live. You love it. All right. How you going to do that in 100 years? Within 100 years, the caliphate had been established. All right. But his own people tried to kill him. I'm not saying they were his followers, but his father was an honorable man. Soon as that father's protection was gone, here they go attacking him and his mother. All right. And that's a whole thing. Anyway, so Drew Ali, another prophet, wasn't honored by his members at least twice during his life, right? That first time when he was chased around the temple with a knife, who helped him? Nobody helped him. Then the second time they actually succeeded. All right. And it's messed up because he was dishonored a third time when these supposed followers held a vote to override the prophet sat nearly ill in his chair in front of everybody and said, this is my successor. And y'all voted him out that seat. And fine. Enough people were there to vote him out the seat. Where were the people to keep him in the seat? So it's like, yeah, I understand what happened. I also understand that I'm looking at the people that didn't stop it too. All right. So you people are like, oh, I'm not racist. You're not doing anything to stop it either. So you're just as culpable. All right. In my eyes. So wrapping this up. Today is the 9 of Wands day. It actually is. I read a book. I'm gonna grab it for you so y'all can see it. It's called Foresight. All right. This is the actual book that comes with the after tarot deck, and it goes into descriptions of the story behind all the tarot cards. All right. And according to this book, my source, I'm not opinionated because I know how that looks to me, right? It says that the moon in Leo, the moon in Sagittarius is ruled by the 9 of Wands card, which is so appropriate, right?